We explore the concept of profit and how it relates to greed, capitalism, and the market economy. We begin with a reference to the iconic speech from the movie Wall Street where Gordon Gekko claimed that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. However, we also acknowledge that few defenders of free markets, not even Ayn Rand, defend greed understood as exploiting others. Instead, we argue that some form of self-interest is always present in a society, but human institutions can be arranged to make the clash of self-interest a benefit, rather than a harm to society. Market exchange can do that, but only under a limited set of circumstances. We argue that capitalism is consumer sovereignty and that profits and income inequality are byproducts of entrepreneurs' attempts to serve consumers. While many people recognize the value of the price and production side of markets, they may not be aware of the back end, the distribution side. We quote John Stuart Mill, who believed that production and distribution were separate and that distribution was a matter of human institution. We explain that the so-called free market distribution is just as arbitrary as any other distribution the state might select. Therefore, the state not only can but must choose the best distribution from the perspective of society as a whole. However, we argue that production and distribution are not separable. Innovations are just ideas that no one ever thought about until some entrepreneur came up with them. Potential profits are a signal to entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs serve consumers. We explain that the task of the entrepreneur is to imagine what the consumer wants, even though the consumer doesn't know it yet. We conclude with a discussion of entrepreneurship and how it relates to profit and value. We quote Israel Kirzner, who explains that the existence of a tendency toward a single price requires some explanation. We argue that the imperfection of knowledge, which is responsible for the initial multiplicity of prices, is a reflection of the lack of some resource, such as means of communication, transportation, or legal institutions. We argue that entrepreneurship is the discovery and exploitation of new resources, and that entrepreneurs are the ones who coordinate production and distribution to bring about a single price. We believe that profits are the reward for entrepreneurship, and that they reflect the value created for consumers. Therefore, we conclude that it's profit, not greed, that is good. Subscribe Libertarian Facts.